Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We are back. We gave you all a week of a break, a breather, because we just came from 28 straight days, back to back, consecutive, consistent days of gratitude on our gratitude journey. We just finished the book, what is it? The Magic. We just finished the book, The Magic. Yeah, I was about to say The Power. We did that already. Book three, The Magic, we just finished. And now we are embarking on the new book. This is the fourth book of the four-book series, the Secret series. We're embarking on Hero today. This is the beginning. Now, this book won't be obviously as long as the 28 day. We had to do the 28 days because it was a daily gratitude practice that we had to get into our systems. Okay. And I'm glad that we went through it because, man, my life has not been the same. I've been changing every single thing. I've changed every single thing that I do as it pertains to gratitude. And it made me turn it up even more. It made me turn it up even more, you all. So I'm so grateful for this journey, man. The whole journey through the secret, then we went to the power, then we went to the magic, and now we're at hero. I am super, super excited for this. Now, for those of you all who do not have this book, understand that every single time we come together as a collective to read any book whatsoever, there's always an ebook PDF form available for you. Always, always, always. Okay, so don't think that you are just because we're introducing books and stuff like that, that you have to go out and order new book. You do not. Those books are readily available for you, and to receive that book, you can reach out to us, you can inbox us, you can email us, whatever you need to do. Okay, and you can email us right here on the email on the screen for those who are watching via Facebook or YouTube. For those who are listening by way of Clubhouse, whether you're in here live or you're listening on the replay, always, always, always know that you can go to the site, go to the back channel, go to the chat, anywhere that you can put information in. Do that so that you can get your book and follow along with us. Okay. Don't ever feel that you have to be left out, because you don't. I promise you don't. Okay. Alrighty. So listen, we're going to jump right in. Okay, we're going to jump right into today's session. I'm super excited about it. I'm super excited. We started off this year 2023, with a goal to read 20 books this year. And I am here to tell you that The Hero, or Hero, not The Hero, but Hero by Rhonda Byrne would be our 20th book for the year 2022. And I'm also here to tell you that we will be concluding this book before December 31st. Hello, somebody. Okay. I am super excited. I am amazingly proud of us, right? For those of you all who have taken this journey with me, I am so, 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 so excited. I'm proud that we accomplished this. And then you already know, January 1, we're going to start a new 20. Okay. We're going to start a new 20 because this thing has been transformative. It's been empowering. It's been guiding. It's been in expanding and developing us and all of those things. And so I'm super excited about continuing on this journey, continuing this process, continuing the growing and the expansion phase, doing all of these things. I'm super excited about it. Okay. And it's doing nothing but taking us higher, building us stronger, you know what I'm saying? Expanding us and stretching us wider than what we were before, which every day that should be our goal. Every single day. Every single day we should be ending our days better than what we started. More advanced, more empowered, more enlightened, even if it's just by receiving one nugget of wisdom that day. You are greater because of that wisdom that you obtain. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm super excited for that. And that should be the goal, to always, always look for ways throughout every single day to expand yourself, right? And this is what this journey is doing for me specifically, but I hope it's doing the same for you all. Okay. All righty, here we go. We're just going to jump right in, you all. We are reading again from the book Hero by Rhonda Byrne. All right, here we go. This is the story about why you are here on the planet Earth. There's something special about you. There's something you were born to be and do that not one of the other 7 billion of us was. There's a life you are meant to live. There's a journey you are meant to take. This book is about that journey. 12 of the most successful people living in the world today share their seemingly impossible stories and reveal that you were born with everything you need to live your greatest dream, and that by doing so, you will fulfill your mission and literally change the world. Once there was a hero. Okay, that is the intro of the story of the book. So I'm um, scrolling down, and there is a quote here by Richard Bach. It states, "Here is a test to find whether your mission on Earth is finished. If you're alive, it isn't." I know that's right. If you are alive, your mission on Earth is not complete. Okay, this book is dedicated to every hero. All right. Now, the way that this book is set up is has the table of contents here. It has description, copyright, of course, epigraph, dedication, acknowledgments, introduction. Then it goes part one, the dream. Okay. Part one is the call to adventure, the refusal of the call, finding your dream, and follow your bliss. Part two, the hero. It consists of belief, vision, the mind of a hero, the heart of a hero, the way of a hero, and commitment. Part three, the quest. It consists of the labyrinth, naysayers and allies, the road of trials and miracles, and the supreme ordeal. And then part four, it consists of the reward. It's entitled Victory. It consists of the reward, a life worth living, the hero in you. Okay. All righty. So I'm going to pass through the acknowledgments because, those are her personal thank yous. Now we're going to go to introduction. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, I'm so excited about this. I am so excited. Okay. This book is about a story. It's a story that changed my life and throughout history has changed the lives of many other human beings. This story has been told since the beginning of time. It has appeared in different forms in every culture and country in the world, but the essence of the story always remains the same. The story is about a hero who undertakes a courageous journey on planet Earth. The setting of planet Earth is an exquisitely beautiful one, filled with vast oceans, mountains, jungles, breathtaking coastlines, sweeping plains, and the spectacular animals and creatures of every kind. And along with the beauty of the natural world is all of the joy that is experienced by the human beings who inhabit it. But as the hero discovers, life is also very challenging for human beings on the earth. Growth is painful from childhood to adolescence, adulthood, and eventual old age. And there are the experiences of physical suffering, poverty, and grief, and eventual death for everyone. There is both joy and suffering on planet Earth because this beautiful world is a world of duality, a world of opposites. There's an opposite side to everything. There's light and there's darkness, near and far, up and down, left and right, hot and cold. And those opposites are experienced at every level of life. There are friends and enemies, falling in love and falling out of love, security and uncertainty, wealth and poverty, bliss and despair. And in every human, there are positive and negative qualities. On planet Earth, everything has its opposite. And it's this world with its equal potential for great joy, great love, great challenges, and great suffering that you wanted to come to. It's you who wanted to come here and experience the adventure of living in such a beautiful but challenging place. It's you who were determined that there was no difficulty so great it will stop you from discovering the hero within you. It's you who wanted to take the hero's journey, for you are the hero of this story. You are not left unequipped when you undertake the hero's journey. You were born with immensely powerful abilities within you that would enable you to realize your dreams and overcome every trial, obstacle, and challenge you would encounter. But in being born into the limited material world of planet Earth, your mind and consciousness became limited too, which meant you wouldn't remember your true nature. You wouldn't remember the powerful abilities within you. You would have to discover them for yourself. Only through completing the hero's journey and allowing your highest human qualities to arise within you will you finally become the hero. And then a new purpose will overtake your heart to help those who are beginning their own hero's journey with everything you discovered on your path. The people you're about to meet have already taken their hero's journey. They've come together from all over the world to share their stories and everything they've experienced to help you begin your own hero's journey. Liz Murray from the United States of America. Liz Murray was born to drug addicted parents and grew up in poverty in New York City. After her mother died and her father went into a shelter where Liz was a teenager, she found herself homeless. Liz hadn't finished school, was sleeping in stairwells and shoplifting food to survive. But it was at that time that a dream was born within her to attend Harvard University. 4 years later, Liz fulfilled her dream. And through sharing her story, she has gone on to become a best selling author and one of the most sought after motivational speakers in the world. G.M. Rao from India. G.M. Rao grew up in a small village in India with no electricity and no telephones, where residents had to line up for their quota of supplies. Despite failing his first attempt at his junior high exams, Mr. Rao wanted to go into business so that he could settle down one day with a small business and a nice house. Luckily, he also stayed very open to opportunities that came his way. From his initial business of jute mill, Mr. Rao gradually expanded his businesses until today his huge empire includes power plants, development of airports and highways, and urban development. Laird Hamilton from the United States of America. Laird Hamilton grew up in a broken home in Hawaii, feeling excluded and discriminated against and realizing he needed to grow up fast. He set out to prove himself as a surfer and go where no surfer had gone before. His extreme adventures in and out of the water led to many serious injuries, broken bones, and being lost at sea on numerous occasions. Yet, Laird Hamilton still realized his dream to break the limits of what was possible and went on to become one of the greatest big wave surfers the world has seen. Anastasia Sayar from Romania. Anastasia Sayar and her young family fled communist Romania at the height of the Cold War, seeking a better life. She arrived in Los Angeles without money or the ability to speak English and worked 14-hour days in a beauty salon. When Anastasia realized that nothing was going to change in her life until she changed what she was doing, she decided to start her own business in Beverly Hills. Anastasia experienced instant success with her unique method of shaping eyebrows, and over the years has turned the art of eyebrow shaping into a national and global empire. Paul Orfalia from the United States of America. Paul Orfalia struggled through his school years with severe dyslexia and ADHD. Though essentially unable to read, Paul held the ambition to build a company bigger than IBM. To overcome his literacy challenges, Paul developed a keen sense of observation. And while standing in line one day, this skill enabled Paul to see a need for cheap printing and photocopying. From that one idea, Kinko's was born, which eventually grew into a billion-dollar photocopying company. Peter Burwash from Canada. Peter Burwash was a young ice hockey player when a heavy collision left him lying on the ice with his lower body paralyzed. He vowed that if he walked away from that, he would give up hockey forever. True to his word, When he was able to stand up an hour later, Peter packed his bags and set out to become a tennis professional. While he never became a top ranking tennis player, Peter did go on to become one of the most revered tennis coaches of all time and to build the largest tennis management company in the world. Maston Kipp from the United States of America. Maston Kipp had the world at his feet as one of the youngest junior executives in the Los Angeles music industry. But an escalating drug and alcohol habit eventually led to the greatest shock of his life. Maston was fired. After losing everything materially but gaining in wisdom, Maston set about reinventing himself and has since become an inspirational blogger and writer through his daily growing website, email, and Twitter account, The Daily Love. Pete Carroll from the United States of America. Pete Carroll dreamed of doing only one thing with his life, playing sports and having a career playing professionally. But that dream was cut short when he failed to make the grade in the National Football League. It left Pete with no idea what he would do with his skills for his life until he realized that his dream could still come true, but in a way he'd never thought of. Pete became a football coach, and although his journey of professional coaching was full of ups and downs, he emerged to become one of the most inspirational American football coaches of all time and was recently awarded the NFC Coach of the Year of the Seattle Seahawks. Michael Acton Smith from England. Acton Smith from England. After graduating university, Michael Acton Smith found himself virtually unemployable. He decided to go into business, but couldn't raise any financing from the bank, so his mother loaned him £1,000. Several failed enterprises later, he was on the brink of bankruptcy. But Michael knew without a doubt his latest idea was something very special. Sure enough, Moshi Monsters took England by storm and became a global phenomenon in kids' entertainment. Lane Beachley from Australia. Lane Beachley's mother died tragically when she was just 7 years of age. Not long after, Lane discovered she had been adopted as a baby. Lane dealt with her feelings of loss and abandonment by setting a goal for herself that would prove her worth to the world. Become a world champion surfer. Lane Beachley achieved her goal, winning the world title not once, but a record 7 times, making her the world's greatest female surfer. John Paul DeJoria from the United States of America. John Paul DeJoria and his brother spent 4.5 years of their childhood in a foster home because their ill mother could not work and take care of them at the same time. They both ended up in a kids' street gang in East Los Angeles, and a high school teacher predicted John Paul would never amount to anything. When John Paul was in his 20s and he and his infant son were living in a car and John Paul was collecting bottles to survive, it seemed the prediction had come true. But John Paul was determined to make something of his life. After being fired 3 times in a row, John Paul partnered with Paul Mitchell, and with just $700, they started their own hair product company, John Paul Mitchell Systems, would go on to earn revenues in excess of $1 billion a year. And lastly, Peter Foyo from the United States of America. Peter Foyo was a child of hardworking immigrants to the United States. As a child, he dreamed in a technological future where cities ran on solar power and telephones were mobile. When he got older, he dreamed of having a business so huge and successful that he would be the best executive of Latin America. Anyone would have said these were impossible dreams, but Peter realized his dream when he became president of telecommunications giant Nextel Communications, Mexico, at just 33 years old. As for me, I was born into a humble working class family in Australia. I didn't have any big aspirations in my early years because I didn't think big dreams were possible for me. But in 2004, my life changed forever when I discovered a secret. A huge dream took over me to share the secret I had discovered with the world. In 2006, The Secret film and book were released, and they swept the globe, reaching tens of millions of people. If you are like I once was and you've never considered having big dreams because you didn't think they could happen, know that on the journey you're about to take, you will discover everything you need to make your dreams, however impossible they may seem, come true. This is your story. This is your purpose. This is why you're here on planet Earth, to take the hero's journey and to discover the hero within you. With the invaluable wisdom you're about to receive and armed with your powerful abilities, you will be able to fulfill your dream and find the true and lasting happiness that every one of us so desperately seeks. No matter where you are in your life, no matter what age you are, it is never too late to follow your dream. Part one, the dream, the call to adventure. This section is entitled Against All Odds. No one is born into a perfect life. If you were, you wouldn't have anything to strive for, and you wouldn't have the urge to create something in your life. You wouldn't have any dreams at all. Whatever circumstances you were born into, whatever family life and education you had or didn't have, you came here to make your dreams come true. And no matter where you are now, you are fully equipped with everything you need to do it. A quote from Anastasia Soar. I started from nothing. I really started from nothing. We had no money. I didn't speak the language. I had no idea how a Western country worked, the mentality, the financial system. I didn't even know how to write a check because we didn't have that in Romania. I started literally learning the alphabet. Paul Orphalia quoted, not many kids managed to flunk the second grade, but I did. I couldn't learn the alphabet. I couldn't read. I was always in trouble. I couldn't control myself. I was just so impulsive. I was finally expelled from high school at 16. The tougher the circumstances are in our life and the more odds are stacked against us, often the more of a catalyst those circumstances will be in propelling us to find our dream. That is so true. A quote from Peter Foyle. My parents were immigrants to the United States, and we started with nothing. I remember having my pants above my ankles. My father was a general in the country, in the country he came from. And when he got to the United States, he ended up being a chimney sweeper. Laird Hamilton stated, I grew up in a racially tense environment that had people hating me for how I was born. A quote from Larry Ellison stated, I had all the disadvantages required for success. Wow, I like it. I had all the disadvantages required for success. Oh my goodness. John Paul DeJoria, he stated, I was 23 years old and my son was 2.5, and my wife at the time had left. Our rent wasn't paid for 3 months, so they kicked us out. We ended up sleeping in the car. The way we survived was we would go around collecting soda bottles and cashing them in. My goodness. From these circumstances as a young adult, it's hard to believe that John Paul DeJoria went on to create the hugely successful hair product company, John Paul Mitchell Systems. John Paul created a life for himself that is unrecognizable from the life he began with. And he did it by using qualities that you have within you now. GM Rayo stated, I started with a zero base. My village was small, only 5,000 people. There was no telephone and no power. We had no bottle of ice water that we would share. Oh, one bottle of ice water that we would share. And we had to line up for our quota of sugar and milk for the month. Whether you were born in India, Australia, the United States, France, or Singapore, the circumstances of your beginnings do not dictate the kind of life you will lead. There's not a single human strength or quality that you are missing in order to fulfill your dreams. You have everything within you to be or do whatever you want, even if the odds appear to be against you. A quote from Pete Carroll. Once I was done playing football in college, I tried out for an NFL team and then a World Football Team league. But when I got cut from for the last time, I really was in shock. I had no direction because everything that I'd ever looked towards was about playing. I was suddenly faced with what now? After suffering a life threatening injury as an ice hockey player, Pete Burwash went on tour playing tennis. Despite his lack of professional tennis ranking or tournament success, with no money, he survived mostly on a jar of peanut butter and a 2-day-old breadstick, which he divided into pieces to last for 5 days. After 70 years on the tennis circuit, Peter was forced to retire. And once again, he found himself in a situation where his chances for success seemed to be little to none. My goodness. A quote from Peter Burwash stated, when it came time to form our tennis management company, there were 16 other companies doing the same thing. I had the least amount of money, financial backing, and tennis credibility. We didn't have any chairs in the office, so we had meetings on the floor for the first couple of years. Wow. Wow, man. I'm just hearing resilience, endurance, and my goodness. It's not the conditions of the outside world that determine whether or not your dreams will be fulfilled. It's not how much money you have, how educated you are, who you know, or even how much experience you have. It's the discovery of the abilities you have within you and knowing how to use them to overcome any and every obstacle you meet in the outside world. That is a message. I need y'all to get it. I'm going to reread it. It's the discovery of the abilities you have within you and knowing how to use them to overcome any and every obstacle you meet in the outside world. It's what every successful person did, and you can do it too. I'm going to say that I reread that because it's just like what she's already mentioned throughout this book so far. We literally were born with every single thing we needed to complete this life successfully, to live this life successfully. From the day you were born, from the second that you were born, you were complete. From the moment that you were born, you were complete. You had every single thing in you to live a completely wonderful, satisfied, successful, profitable life. Everything was in you from the moment you were born. The problem came in though. As we progressed in our life from childhood to teen and adolescence to our 20s and adulthood and things like that, no one told us how to use what we have. No one showed us. No one had to, not everyone, and I'm speaking of the collective because there are individuals who grew up in families who absolutely pointed out their tools that they were born with and cultivated them with them. You understand what I'm saying? Raised them to cultivate their inner gifts that they were born with, their tools that they were born with, so that they can utilize them throughout their life as they were meant to be. But there are the majority of us who were not raised and who were not raised knowing what and how to utilize the tools that they were born with. So they remained dormant. They remained stagnant. They remained unused. And your fulfilled dreams remained unfulfilled. Your unfulfilled dreams remain unfulfilled. Okay, a quote from Michael Acton Smith stated, I had a friend, Tom, who I met at university, and we decided to set up a business together. We didn't have much money. In fact, we had debts from university. We got the cash to get the business going after we saw an ad in a newspaper asking people to basically sell their bodies to medical science by taking part in a drug test for a new anti migraine drug. We did that and got paid $400, 400 pounds each. My mom was horrified. I think that was one of the reasons why she was very supportive. She gave us 1,000 pounds each, and Tom's parents let us use their attic. 10 years ago, I was doing fine in my life, climbing the ladder of success in the television industry. And then suddenly, one devastating circumstance after another happened, and within a few short months, my entire life had collapsed around me. I fell into despair. But it was in this very moment that I discovered a secret that ultimately would become a movie and my first book. Even when your whole life seems to be burned to the ground, from the ashes comes new life. Mm, that is so true. Quote from Maston Kip, he stated, "When I first came to Hollywood, I wanted to be a music manager. That didn't really work out. Hollywood's not known for being the most loving environment. I started abusing drugs and alcohol, and I hit rock bottom. In 1 week, my investors pulled out. My business partner and I broke up. My roommate gave me 3 days' notice. I developed gout in my foot. My lower back went out. And the girl I was seeing, she and I broke up. Literally, my life fell apart in 1 week. That started a very long and painful journey that I'm very grateful I went on, but never went back to again and never want to do again. At the time, I felt like I was in a hurricane. And then I realized, what if it was a divine storm? A divine storm. Next quote from Liz Murray. She stated, I went through this period of time where I had things, and then suddenly I didn't have anything tangible. My mom passed away. My dad was estranged and living in this shelter. And my uncle, who was probably the biggest angel of my life, passed away suddenly. I ended up homeless. Everything that was there was suddenly not there. I remember feeling like if life can change for the worse, maybe life can change for the better. Because clearly, life could change very quickly. I know that's right. Life circumstances can be very rough, as they were for Liz Murray. But those circumstances were what provided Liz with a burning desire that took her off the streets of New York City to attend Harvard University. When you find that burning desire to be or do something, you found a powerful force that can cut through seemingly impossible circumstances and limitations. By realizing your dreams, you will realize the greatness in you. Greatness is not being born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Following your dreams and realizing the hero within you is greatness. Next section is called Your Calling. Every single person who has ever been born or ever will be born comes with some unique talent or ability. It's this special thing about you that is your calling. Although no human being is born without it, many will live their lives without discovering or living their calling. Your calling is something that moves you like nothing else in life. It's something about it's something you're attracted to, something you're passionate about, and it fills you with joy and sets your heart on fire when you do it. Your particular calling might be a burning desire to achieve something in business, sports, your job, or your career. It might even be your hobby. A hobby can be a clue to your calling because it's something you're passionate about and that you make the time to pursue. Plenty of people's hobbies have turned into big dreams that became big companies. That is so true. A quote from Michael Acton Smith states, "The thing I have always loved ever since I was little was games. I loved playing. I think it was a very important part of being human. So my big dream has always been to run a games company, designing games and entertaining people." Quote from Pete Carroll stated, Even though I coached since the time I was 13 years old in camps and things like that, I never connected that with something that I would do. When I went back to graduate school, I was a coach at the University of the Pacific. And that's when I stepped back and thought, well, this is something I could do that's close to playing football. And that's where I really made my first step towards coaching. Your calling might be something you have daydreamed about being or doing that you thought could never happen for you. But when you think about doing that particular thing and living that life, you're filled with an incredible feeling of happiness and fulfillment. And no matter how impossible that dream seems to be, you are being called to follow it. Liz Murray stated, I would sleep by myself in a hallway in New York City. I shoplift Oreos and crackers, and I would sleep with my head on my book bag. In my book bag, I had everything I owned, my journal, my clothes, and my mother's picture, which I carried with me everywhere. With my head down on that book bag, sleeping in that hallway, I would dream of a better life. And I had this deep sense inside of me that I was meant to transcend whatever this was, not only for the purpose of having a better life, but for making the lives of others better. I know that's right. Whether you can remember it or not, you have received the call several times in your life already. You might have received it as a child when you knew absolutely what you wanted to be when you grew up. But then society and well meaning parents and teachers influence us with the limited options that we can do of what we can or can't do. And we shut down our calling and our dreams. Hmm. Next quote, Peter Foya. Ever since I was a very little boy, I was dreaming very big ideas. Long before wireless phones, I was dreaming of how neat it would be to have a telephone in one hand that wouldn't have any wires attached. Wouldn't it be amazing if I could put a card inside a gas pump and pump my gas? Wouldn't it be amazing if we could run cities from the sun? I had a vision of creating this great company, making lots of money, and being the best executive in Latin America. Oh my goodness. As above, so below. That's meta being a metaphysicist. Meta to believe, physicist to bring that belief into the physical. That's what this is. That's exactly what every single person that I'm reading in this book, that's exactly what every single person did. They all became alchemists, the alchemists by way of changing their then current life to something else, transforming it completely. That's alchemy. That is alchemy, taking the components of what is and changing it and transforming it and making it something brand new. Alchemy. They all became alchemists in their situations. Not only that, they all became metaphysicists in their situation. That is so amazing. Man, you might have received a call in what seemed like an everyday moment through something you saw, read, or heard. Suddenly, something hits you like a bolt of lightning, and an ordinary moment becomes the defining moment of your life. Yes, sir. Ooh, I know that to be true. A quote from G.M. Rayo. My mathematics teacher in school said every life has a purpose and we should work toward realizing it because that would be real achievement. That's true. This ignited a burning desire in me to seek my calling and work toward achieving it. Laird Hamilton quoted, my father left my mother when I was very young, and I had to be a little man very early. That forced me to really make a conscious decision that I wanted to be something. Out of challenging life circumstances, a burning desire aroused within Laird Hamilton to do something with his life. He heard the call. He responded to it, and in fulfilling his dream of becoming one of the greatest big wave surfers, he has inspired millions of people the world over. For Lane Beachley, the call also came through a very challenging situation in her childhood. When Lane was only 7 years old, her mother died suddenly. After her mother's death, Lane learned she was adopted. Her birth mother was only 17 when Lane was conceived through a date rape. Lane's foundation crumbled beneath her. But it was that critical event of losing her mother that would propel Australia's Lane Beachley to become one of the greatest female athletes in the world. Lane Beachley stated, "Honestly, what drove me to become a world champion is being adopted. Before I chose surfing, the big dream was to be a world champion in anything. I just had to be the best in the world. I felt the need to prove myself to the world." All Orphalia stated, "There was never any doubt in my mind that what I wanted for my life. I just wanted to have my own business. Could have been any business. Could have been any business. I used to look at the IBM building and think, I want a business bigger than that." I know that's right. Suffering from ADHD and dyslexia, Paul Orphalia couldn't read or write. Yet look what he did with his life. He created Kinko's, a multi-billion-dollar company that provided jobs for thousands of people. In our world of duality, every disadvantage contains its opposite, an advantage. Paul turned his disadvantages into advantages. Anastasia Sayar had a dream of escaping communist Romania. For almost 3 years, she planned and waited to make her escape with her daughter. Her decision to flee involved great risk. And when she finally arrived to the United States, Anastasia came face to face with another huge decision. She was working 14-hour days to earn enough money to support her family. And unless she did something different, this would be her lot in life. I know a lot of people right now, that has found themselves working, manufacturing jobs, warehouse jobs, plant jobs, and they found themselves in there longer than what they projected to be, working, anywhere from 10, 12, 14, 16-hour days. And they set a mind to only be there for a short period of time or until they had enough money to do something different. And then all of a sudden, 20 years has passed, 30 has passed, So I get it. So what she said was, unless she did something different, that would have been the lot of her life. That would have been her life right there. In that same 14-hour, situation. A quote from Anastasia Sayar, she says, "I needed to do something. I needed to prove and to find out who I was as a person, what I was worth." I'm not saying it wasn't scary, because it was scary. But I thought, this is why I came to this country. This is the land of opportunity. I have to do this. Otherwise, why did I come here? To have a worse life than I had in Romania? No. That makes sense. Come on now. That's it right there. That is it. This is the question that I ask my clients when any new client that I have that I take in. Okay. I ask them, the first question that I ask them is, do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? And based on the answer that I receive, that's going to determine the strategy or the path in which I take with them. She just stated here, Anastasia just said it here. She says, I needed to prove and to find out who I was as a person, what I was worth. She had to find that out for herself. It is impossible. It is impossible for you to pursue anything in your life when you don't know who you are first. As this book has already so beautifully quoted and stated, this place, this realm, is a realm of dualities. Okay? It's a realm of dualities. So there's the likes and dislikes, there's the ups and downs, good, bad, cold, hot. This is a realm of duality. But there is duality in all. There's duality in me. There's duality in you. The duality of both masculine and feminine is on the inside of me. One person. The duality of good and bad is on the inside of me. Okay? That whole Christ consciousness and devil consciousness is on the inside of me. Hello? That's where Christ dwells. That's where the enemy is. In me, not externally. Nothing external. This is all in me. So the only enemy that I fight is not a red horn, pitchfork, and ponytail thing. It's the devil, the enemy is inside of me. Okay? That's what it is. You are not battling anything outside of yourself. Never. So get that out your mind. You're not battling anything outside of yourself. The enemy is not making you do anything. If you have any negative thought, then it is being triggered by something in you that needs to be healed. Bottom line. Bottom line. It's called facing it, confronting it, and taking accountability for it so that you can heal that, so that you can evolve and expand, so that you can get to your life's fulfillment. But it takes facing those things and being accountable in those areas in order for you to get to know who you are. That's what it takes. Okay. Moving forward, living under every difficult circumstances in Romania instilled in Anastasia a particular strength of character and a determination that would carry her through every obstacle to fulfill her dream of having her own business. That business grew into an empire with over 1,000 outlets in the United States, more than 600 outlets internationally, and salons in multiple countries throughout the world. No life circumstances are 100% negative. None. No life circumstances are 100% negative. Every negative circumstance also contains its opposite. And so there is something good buried within every seemingly bad situation. That is so true. Life is not about the negative circumstances that happen to you. It's about what you do with the golden opportunities hidden within. I'm going to read that again. Life is not about the negative circumstances that happen to you. It's about what you do with the golden opportunities hidden within. Life is not happening to you. It's happening for you. If you choose to see it that way, we've never been victims of circumstance, ever. Every situation that comes up, a negative situation is only an opportunity to find the positive. That's what that means. Anything negative, it's always an opportunity right there inside of that whole thing. But we have to set our eyes to see that. We have to set our eyes to, and set our ears to hear the opportunity. Listen for the opportunities. But often, we're too busy listening for negativity or looking for something wrong. And you find it every time. Every time. Because that's the vein in which you're listening. And that's the vein in which you're looking. Yeah, you're going to find it every time. But if you set your eyes and your ears to search and see opportunity, to see an opportunity for peace, an opportunity for love, an opportunity for joy, an opportunity for happiness, laughter, an opportunity for loving, sharing, giving, you'll find it. You'll find it because in every negative situation and circumstance that happens to you, it is a golden opportunity to find the good inside of that thing. You're never called to follow a dream unless there are multiple ways for you to fulfill it. Listen, you are never called to follow a dream unless there are multiple ways for you to fulfill it. Not just one single way. What's the saying? There's more than one way to skin a cat. I don't know why we skinning cats. I don't know why that came, who started that, but you know what we're talking about, okay? Just don't be skinning no cats, all right? It's downright impossible for you to have a dream if you can't, at the very least, make the essence of that dream come true. Listen, it is impossible for you to dream a thing if it was not in you to fulfill the thing. If you couldn't bring this dream to pass, you wouldn't have the ability to dream it in the first place. Because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you are dreaming the thing, if you see it in your mind, if you see it already done, if you see yourself walking around in whatever this thing you're dreaming about, it's done already. You mentally created it. It's already done. And if you can mentally create the fulfilled dream, then you can do the fulfilled, you can bring the fulfillment to the dream. You can do it. Oh my goodness. Ooh, that's good. Okay. Your dreams are calling you to the best life you can have. They are calling you to find the hero within you. Maston Kip stated, I grew up in a relatively picturesque environment. My parents were awesome, and that did a lot to shelter me from the pain in the world. When I started to step outside myself and see the pain in others and realize that I could do something about it, it made it crystal clear that there was really nothing else I could do with my life. And so my dream has really been to combine pop culture with inspiration and wisdom so that we can reach the greatest number of people possible. That was a great idea. That was a great idea. Okay. If you hear the call and you don't respond to it because you're too scared or you don't believe you can achieve it, sometimes circumstances will push you to follow your dream, as happened with me. Come on. Like Medea said, you can either go voluntarily or involuntarily. I would rather you go voluntarily because it's a little easier. It's a little it's a better and a smoother transition. But baby, if you are pushed into your call, ooh, as it coming from somebody that's been pushed several times, okay? I don't know what be taking me so long, but I have been pushed several times into what it was that I'm supposed to be doing. Didn't know at the time of the push, okay? But I had to be told repeatedly, this is not punishment, it's positioning. This is not punishment, it's positioning. And it wasn't until I set my eyes and my mind to not see it as punishment. This is not punishment. Change your view, change your perspective, change your paradigm, shift it. This is positioning because you need to be positioned at a place in order for this fulfillment, this dream to come to fruition. You need to be positioned. And where you were previously located, you were out of position. You were out of position. So we need to position you. And in order to position someone, you got to utilize kinetic energy, force, movement, push, okay, to get you from where you once were to where you need to be. Okay. She says, I was working as a television producer at a network, and I used to dream of starting my own television production company. I would never have done it because I had a family to support. My job paid well, and we needed the money to eat and keep a roof over our heads. I clung to the security of my job with all of my might, despite many people urging me to start my own business. Then I got fired. I was in shock. How could we eat? How could we pay for our daughter's education? How could we pay the mortgage of our house? One option I had was to get a job at a different television location, but I couldn't bear the thought of going back to what I had been doing. I realized that since I had been fired, I had nothing to lose. And so I started working on ideas for television shows on a plastic table and chairs in the back room of our very humble house. I developed an idea and created a pitch for a television show, even though I had no idea how to create a pitch. But I believed in the idea, and so, with heart pounding and legs trembling, I presented the idea, to executives at one of the networks. The show was commissioned on the spot, And when it aired, it was a huge success and became a long running series. Through being fired, I was given the perfect circumstances to finally answer my calling and live my dream. And I remain grateful to this day for that television network firing me. Without them, I would have refused the calling to follow my dream, and I would have missed living the most exciting and fulfilling journey of my life. Come on here. Come on here. Sometimes you need to be pushed, right? And I know the majority of us can attest to being pushed. Okay. My goodness. All right. Next section. Oh, this is going to be good. The refusal of the call. The refusal. Ooh. Man. Okay. Laird Hamilton stated the risk that you take in not pursuing your dream is terminal. The risk that you take in not pursuing your dream is terminal. It's the end. It's a life without fulfillment. It's a life without accomplishment. It's a life without contentment. And it's a life without joy. It's misery. When you refuse the call from life to follow your dreams, you run the risk of living an unfulfilled and unhappy life. No matter what you do, and no matter what material things you acquire along the way, if you don't do the things that make your heart sing, you will feel an overwhelming stress of dissatisfaction and regret when you get to the end of your life. Don't let this be the story of your life. No matter how young or old you are right now, you have a greater story to live. It may seem like a big risk to follow your dream, but isn't the greatest risk of all to miss your life? Come on. Ooh, that's good. Michael Acton Smith stated, to never give your dreams a chance is the biggest failure. Ooh, they coming in. Come on. DM Rayo stated, when you don't follow your dream or passion, then what you work for will seem like a cage, albeit a golden one. Body without soul. It will result in being frustrated, listless, and completely devoid of a purpose for existence. And responding to your calling and deciding to follow your dreams is actually the easy way. Refusing the call is the hard way because you risk being miserable and dooming yourself to a life without joy, a life without passion, and a life without meaning or purpose. Mm. Perhaps you started out loving your current job, but in time, your work has become a grind to you. This might mean your current job is not your ultimate calling, and you need to dig deep and ask yourself whether somewhere along the way you put your dreams aside. Mm. Lane Beachley stated, if you're doing anything in life that's not making your heart sing, that's not fueling your passion to get up on a daily basis, then you're not fulfilling your role as a human being on this earth. Michael Acton Smith states, life is short. It's not a dress rehearsal. It's about grabbing it by the scruff of the neck and experiencing as many things and meeting as many people as possible. It's definitely not about sitting on the sofa watching TV and moaning about what might have been. I know that's right. Liz Murray stated, we buried my mother the day after Christmas. I was 16 years old. We had no money for a real funeral, so she was in a pine box with the lid nailed on. They wrote the words head and feet on the box. It was the most awful thing, but had a troubled life. We had a troubled life. We had, but we had a very loving relationship. And my mother used to sit at the foot of my bed and share her dreams with me about being sober, about getting a house, about having a better life. And at the end of all of her talks was that she was going to get around to doing it, but not right now. She would do it later. She would do it later. And I realized at some point that I was living my life telling myself I would do things later. My goodness, man. You might think, I've got time to follow my dreams. You don't have time. Life is short. The current life expectancy is 24,869 days. While some of us will live more days and some fewer, either way, you have only a precious number of days to live this life. And so you do not have time to put off your dreams. It is now or never. If you don't do it now, you will keep putting it off and you'll never do it. The time is now. Timothy Ferris states, someday is a disease that will take your dreams to the grave with you. My goodness. Yes. Someday is a disease that will take your dreams to the grave with you. Mm-mm-mm. Simply realizing that no one else is going to make your dreams come true is a big step. Your boss, friends, partner, family, and children cannot live your life for you. You are responsible for creating a life that makes you happy and fulfilled. No one else can do that for you. Michael Acton Smith stated, the most important thing people need to do is take responsibility for their actions. It's very easy to blame your upbringing or lack of money or lack of this or that. But if you stop and say, you know what? There is no one ultimately responsible for my life but myself. That is the really important step you can take to realize that you have to shape things up. You have to shape your mindset. You have to change that job. You have to change whatever it is to make things happen. Liz Murray stated, when we're kids, we're on to something that adults lose. Everything is new and exciting, but also anything's really possible. Then something happens. We fail. We get rejected. We get disappointed. We atrophy that part of ourselves and we get way too serious. But what if you woke up every day and you just said, what if I went for the things I want, my dreams? You hit the alarm clock, you put your feet on the floor, and you just go for it. To have that magic back in your life, to live for the sake of possibility. Mm, that is so true. The older we get, the more we're told to, stop acting childish and you're being immature, or that's for kids. I'm grown. I'm too grown for that. I'm too old to be doing that. All of that stuff. You're losing, slowly but surely, losing that imagination. You're losing it. You're losing the play. You're losing the fun. You're losing all of that fire. You might be afraid to go after what you want in life because you think you could fail. But remember that you will never receive the call to follow a dream unless you have the wherewithal to accomplish that dream and turn it into reality. So true. Again, if you're dreaming it, you have everything in you to fulfill it. Laird Hamilton stated, the fear of failure stops people from doing a lot of things. My mom used to have a saying that we're each our greatest inhibitors, that we stop ourselves. So true. Another way we can stop ourselves is to think that there are no good ideas or opportunities left and use that as our excuse not to make anything out of our life. If you think there are no good opportunities, look at how easily Paul or Ophelia found a golden opportunity. While standing in line to use a library photocopier, Paul or Ophelia saw something that nobody else saw. He thought to himself, if there's a line here, there must be lines in other places. And from that simple observation, the idea of Kinko's was born. My goodness. Paul or Ophelia stated, if I have any good attributes, I know how to be in the present. You can't see opportunity if you are not in the moment. Come on here. Come on here. My goodness. Michael Acton Smith stated, a lot of people look at successful people and just shrug it off and say, oh, they've been lucky. But in life, you make your own luck. And when those opportunities come, you are ready to jump on them. Uh, I learned this statement. I know the statement was said before by somebody else, but I learned the statement by Nipsey Hussle. He says, success is when opportunity meets preparation. Success happens when opportunity meets your preparation. So you are already in prep mode for the opportunity to come forth. You already ready. You set. You're knowledgeable. You got the skill set. You got the I mean, you got the props. You got all of the. You got your stuff. You just waiting on that opportunity. Okay. And when the opportunity comes, you're set, you're ready. And here's the thing, because you were ready and prepared, the opportunity didn't pass you by. Hello. You were able to grab the opportunity by the horn because you were ready. You were preparing yourself for the opportunity to appear. And in dreaming, you're already seeing the situation already done. You're already seeing the success of yourself, of your dream. You're already seeing the fulfillment of what it is that you're setting, that you desire, right? So if you're already seeing it in your mind, you're having the visions of yourself being successful in this thing, then don't you think the next step would be to prepare yourself to be this thing that you see? And then, just regardless of whether the opportunity of to become this thing is it presents itself to you right now or not, the fact that you saw it already happening in your mind, that should motivate your steps of action to prepare yourself for the opportunity to come, because you know it's going to come, because you know it's going to come. Okay. Anastasia Soar stated, opportunities are in front of everybody every day. It's almost like a train station. Everybody is in the station. There are trains that stop in front of you, in front of people, but they have their eyes closed. They don't have their eyes open to see and get onto that train. Opportunities are everywhere. Come on. DM Rail states, you do not need a big dream to do a big thing. Just be open to life's opportunities. Ken Hakuta stated, people will try to tell you that all of the great opportunities have been snapped up. In reality, the world changes every second, blowing new opportunities in all directions, including yours. Yes, sir. Mm-mm-mm. This section is called the illusion of security. The illusion. Come on here. Oh, they talking my language now, boy, because I've been talking this. I had a business course that I was teaching. It was called Getting Down to Business with Miss B. And baby, this was my spiel right here. Here we go. The illusion of security. Don't let money and security dictate your choices in life. Life continually changes. Companies change hands, go bankrupt, or relocate overseas. Jobs are lost, or economic collapse brings about massive cutbacks. You can lose your job, your savings, and your house. Marriages can end. Health challenges can appear, and circumstances can arise that throw the security you thought you had out the door. I chose financial security over following my dreams. And when I was fired, I was clearly shown that the security I thought I had was all in my mind. Real security means knowing there is no security, because then you will make sure you live every day of your life to the fullest. Hello. Okay. Hello. Maston Kipp stated, family and friends, while they love you and while they want what's best for you, unless you have it says, unless you have a kick-ass mom and dad or a kick-ass environment that you grew up in, generally, they're going to want you to take the financially safe path where there's certainty and safety. Correct. That is so true. Michael Acton Smith stated, as painful as it might be in the short term to step away from the security and a job that is paying well, you've got decades of life to live. You might as well suffer a bit of short term pain to find something you love, even at a lower salary. Because if you do have a job you love, you will end up being successful in so many other ways. That is so true. So true. GM Rayo stated, don't let less money let you compromise on what you love to do. What you excel in will definitely bring you that very prosperity and security you need. Maybe the start would be small, but as one achieves perfection in what you are doing, everything else will follow. Yes, it will. I know this to be true. I am a multipreneur. I know this to be true. Trust me. You can start off with a couple of dollars in your pocket, but that couple of dollars, because you trust that your vision, you have faith in you believe in yourself, you believe in your vision. That couple of dollars can stretch. I'm telling you now, the universe will move people, places, and things out of the way to ensure that you get to where you belong. I don't care what the price tag is. That price tag that matters not to me. I don't care how much time somebody gives me. I don't bend to time. Time bends to me. I don't care how big the situation is, or who said that they was going to take over or whatever the case. If it's for me, it's for me. Period. I am not, listen, I don't scare easy. I promise you that. I don't scare easy. And every single thing that I've ever stepped out to accomplish, you better believe, just as sure as my name is what it is, I've gotten it done. I don't care how long it took. I got it done. I got it done the exact way that I saw in my mind. Period. Nothing missing, nothing broken. And you can do the same thing. You have to first know who you are. Once you identify with who you are, everything else around you that you once deemed a problem no longer becomes a problem. It no longer is a problem because you see it now as an opportunity to carry on to your next step. You see the opportunities in what you once called problems. Okay? Nothing is a problem for who you are when you discover who it is that you truly are. Oh, it's a cakewalk. This is easy. Because you know who you are and what's in you. Right? Being trapped by security can happen to anyone. There are many people making a lot of money whose work is a grind to them, and they're as unfulfilled and unhappy as those making a lot less money. So true. So very true. Laird Hamilton stated, what is money for you? If it's the goal, then it will be the ruler of you. It'll dictate your movements and it'll control you. Correct. That is the problem right there. A lot of people, they only move when money is involved. I tell that one of the first rules when I was teaching business, I said, if you're starting a business to make money, you, my love, have already failed. If you're jumping into entrepreneurship to simply make money, you have already failed. Period. Let's move on. Material things are wonderful, and experiencing them is one of the great pleasures of living on earth. But through the conditioning of society, we can be misled into thinking that the accruement of material things is the purpose of our life. If material things were the purpose of our life, they would provide true happiness, fulfillment, and satisfaction. And we never need to buy another thing. The happiness we feel when we get those things wouldn't be fleeting, but would be everlasting. If accruing material things were our purpose in life, we would be able to take them with us when we leave. You would walk outside to get the paper in the morning and see that old man Joe's house across the street disappeared because he took it with him. We can't take material things with us because they are not who we are. While they are part of the joy of living on earth, they are not the purpose of our life. Lane Beachley stated, it was tough, it was challenging, and I sacrificed a lot. But I made those sacrifices out of choice because following my dreams of becoming a world champion was way more important to me than earning money. We all need food, shelter, and clothing, but the pursuit of material things for their sake alone robs us of the freedom to live a truly fulfilling life. Don't let the tail wag of a dog. No, Don't let the tail wag the dog by making security and the pursuit of material things the purpose of your life instead of following your dreams. The irony is that when you do choose to follow your dreams over security, you will have it all: material riches and rich, fulfilling lives. In addition, you receive something that money can never buy. You will have the greatest feeling of accomplishment, fulfillment, and satisfaction. Of course, you will always want to do more and continue to build on your dreams. But when you experience that feeling of absolute fulfillment from taking the hero's journey, you'll be in no doubt that it was what you were born to do. And all that you gain within from fulfilling your purpose is what you do take with you when you leave. Mm. Don't let the end of your life and regret all the things. Don't get to the end of your life and regret all the things you didn't do. Your life is precious. If you sell yourself out, you won't find the happiness you desperately seek, because true happiness comes from fulfilling your dreams. Imagine what it would be, it would be like, okay, to get to the end of your life with no regrets. Imagine reflecting back on everything you did and you are fulfilled with the greatest feeling of satisfaction. Man, listen, I've been saying since I was a young girl that when I leave this life, when you all bury me, literally, you will be burying an empty vessel, because I intend to to carry out every single gift and ability I got on the inside of me. I don't care if one of the gifts is to make balloon animals. I don't care if one of the gifts is to is to mow lawn, cut grass, trim hedges. I don't care if one of them is to fly kites professionally. I don't care. Before I leave this place, I am fulfilling every single gift and ability on the inside of me. You better believe that. Okay? You better believe it. Liz Murray stated, you know that saying, don't die with your music still inside of you. People have things they dream of when they lay their head on the pillow at night. And if you don't honor that voice, it doesn't go anywhere. It's an energy that lives inside of you. You can't negate that energy. It's part of the fiber of who you are as a person. So if you put your head down on the pillow at night and you are called to do something in this world and you ignore that, then that dream is still locked inside of you. To me, that's the worst thing, to die with your music inside of you. Mm. Miles Monroe stated, the late Miles Monroe, he said, the cemetery is one of the most wealthiest places on the planet. And it's not because of the price of the caskets or the price of the tombstones or the upkeep of the graveyard. No, no, no. It is the unwritten songs inside of the beings that left here. The unwritten books, the unfulfilled dreams, the unfulfilled talents and purposes and callings, the unfulfilled task that didn't get done, that the world did not experience as a result of them not fulfilling their dreams while yet living. Okay. Moving on with the book, a friend of mine worked for many years in the administration area of television, and through changes in the company she worked for, she was pushed out of her job. She knew what she wanted to do more than anything, which was to be a movie director. And she started to make plans for a new life of living her dreams. But just before she had seized the opportunity and put her new life into action as a movie director, she was offered a well-paying job back in the television administration. She took the job, and just like that, her dreams and the possibility of her new life vanished. Michael Acton Smith stated, I don't want to get to the end of my life and be sitting in a nursing home and look back and wish I could have done all these things differently. Anastasia Sayor stated, what do you have to lose? You have to try it. You'll then live a life without knowing that you were able to do it. That's painful. To me, that's painful. Paul Orphalia stated, I always tell students to start your business out of college. What's the worst thing that can happen to you? You can go live with your parents. It is not about experience. Just stick your neck out and start your business. Aston Kip stated, most people won't take the leap because they're not experiencing enough pain. Ooh, that's wait a minute. I gotta read that again. Ooh, I gotta read that again. He said, most people won't take the leap because they're not experiencing enough pain. Sheesh. Usually they will take action once they're so fed up, once they're so sick and tired that they're like, I can't take this anymore. Come on here. You got to get to a place of pain in order to get that push. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Paul Orphalia stated, even if you're stuck in a job or a profession you don't like, you've got a better shot than ever in human history to end up doing something that really satisfies you. Okay? Don't wait until you get to the point where you can't take it anymore before you make a change. Change your life now. Anything but true happiness and fulfillment is not good enough for you. So don't settle for anything less. That goes across the board, y'all. Anything, friends, partners, relationship, anything, okay? Anything but true happiness and fulfillment is not good enough for you. So don't settle for anything less. Even if you think the tentacles of security have already wrapped themselves around you and you can't move because of your obligations, it's never too late. There are always unlimited ways to follow your dreams, and it is much easier than you think. Come on. Next section is entitled Finding Your Dream. Finding your dream. I hope y'all are getting something out of this because honey, I am enjoying this book already. We just started and it's just woo, some good eating, man. Okay. Peter Foyle stated, the absolute frustration of humankind. What do I do with my life? Yes. That question right there. When I take in, like I said, when I take in new clients in therapy or coaching or counseling, that's the first question. Do you know who you are? Do you know why you are? Do you know where you are? Do you know what you are? Okay. And Peter Foyle states the absolute frustration of humankind. What do I do with my life? That's the question. What am I here for? What am I supposed to be doing? Who am I? What am I living for? Why am I here? I don't know my purpose. I don't know what. Do you know how often I hear that? I hear it all the time. I'm talking about people who are up there 50, 60, got children, grandchildren, careers, jobs, retired, still have no clue as to why they are, who they are, what they are. Come on. Lane Beachley stated, what do you want? Put your hand on your heart and ask yourself, what do I want? The first thing that comes to mind is always the right one. Try and let go of the opinions, beliefs, and conclusions you have about yourself, because they're the very reason that you have prevented you from seeing your dream. Don't compare yourself with anyone else because you have potential inside you that no one else on the planet has. Let go of all the limiting thoughts of what you think is possible for you and open your mind to all possibilities. If you could let go of all the baggage you've accumulated in your life and wake up in the morning as though brand new with a clean slate, every incredible possibility would be free to pour into your life. Lane Beachley stated, people look outside of themselves, but once you look inside yourself, once you look inside yourself, for sure. John Paul DeJoria stated, we don't always know what we want, but we sure know what we don't want. Stop doing or thinking about what you don't want and move on. It's like if the train rides a bad one, get off. You'll never experience anything else if you don't get off that train. Then you leave yourself open to something else. Aston Kip stated, look at those moments where you're feeling blissful, moments when time just flies by, when you really feel lit up, when you really feel inspired. Think about, where have I been most inspired? Where have I really been happy? Even if it was a few moments in your life, those are doorways showing you what your dream is about. DM Rail stated, some people will hit upon your dream, your big dream, the moment. Some people will hit upon your big dream the moment they start thinking about their future. It's so true. It's so true. What would you do if you could do anything? What would you do if money weren't a consideration at all? What would you do if success were guaranteed? When you ask any question, or you ask a question about your purpose, the universe will transmit the answer to you. The answer doesn't come from your conscious mind. Otherwise, you would already know it. The answer comes from your universal mind. Plain Beachley stated, most of us go through life not knowing what our dream is or what our purpose is because we've never made the time to ask ourselves. It's important people take the time to identify what they love. If you don't, you're just a rudderless boat. Come on, floating. Come on here, a rudderless boat. Sheesh, floating, bouncing to and from. My word. Before you ask any question, get yourself relaxed and in a calm state of mind. Then simply ask questions like, what is my purpose in life? Or, what am I meant to do? Or, what is my reason for being here? Don't try and answer the question with your mind, but leave the question hanging in the air. Remain quiet for a minute. Pay attention to anything that comes to you, and then take particular notice of what you're inspired to do during the day. Okay? Alina Brown on Clubhouse says, I love people, honey. I look good. You love people, so that means that your calling is attached to people, to the public, to the community, probably. Oh, yeah. The answer will come into your mind in a flash, most likely when you're focused on something else altogether. Don't second guess the answer when you get it, but think of one small step you can take toward it. Okay? Laird Hamilton stated, it's about listening to yourself, going inside and being still. Go into the forest or go to the sea. Be in a safe space where you can hear it. You'll be told by your own subconscious. You have it in you, and it's always been there. You just put it someplace deep inside. That's true. And it went deep inside through our conditioning, coming up in life and being told what to do, what not to do. Go over there, sit down, put that down, hush, start talking, don't talk, go over here, do that, jump up, down. We conditioning over life. And before you know it, those things that came so easily, to us, that imagination, that those easy feelings, those feelings of assurance, and all of those things slowly but surely fade away the older we get and the more conditioned to other people and societal norms we become. Okay. John Paul DeJoria stated, eventually, if you open yourself up to the universe, it'll come to you. And it will. It sure will. Okay. A woman called Sarah Blakely knew that she wanted to have a multi-million-dollar business, and that's all she knew. So Sarah asked for a multi-million-dollar idea. One day, while encountering a problem with her clothes when she was getting dressed, Sarah got a brilliant idea for a new kind of women's underwear. And that idea became Spanx, a now multi-billion-dollar global company. Yes, I remember hearing her story. She has an awesome story. Peter Burwash stated, the other way is go in the direction of the real entrepreneur, which is asking, what does the world need and what does the world want at this particular point in time? Yeah, that's good. Aston Kip stated, how could I solve a problem or some issue that people have? Asking that question and figuring out whether that lines up with what you're passionate about is the key to success. That's the sweet spot spiritually, emotionally, and also financially. Orphelia stated, Kinko's started with a question. If you stop asking questions, start asking them again. Yeah, man. Asking yourself, going within, going within. Like Paul Ophelia, who created Kinko's, and Sarah Blakely, who created Spanx, entrepreneurs ask questions. It's how entrepreneurs get a perfect idea at the perfect time. And it's exactly what the world needs. By simply asking a question, they receive an answer. And from that idea, and by simply asking a question, they receive an idea. And from that idea, they go on to create hugely successful companies. Anytime you need to ask any questions, ask for information you need, ask for ideas, solutions, or the way to go with this decision. The answer will be transmitted to you from the universal mind and appear in your mind as a flash. Make use of your ability to tap into this incredible source. And I'm going to tell you something. The more often you do that, it often happens during meditation, journal writing, going within, chakra alignments. And that's probably a lot of times what we need to do is clear those chakras, open and activate those chakras as well, because that helps with the flow of your inner being. Okay. But oftentimes we don't do that enough. We absolutely don't do that enough. And that is really go within. Okay, we're always looking for outward validation. We're always looking for people to give us their answer, or give us your approval. What's your opinion, and what do you think about? No, 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 no. And it's fine to get reviews and whatnot, but who cares? Who cares? It's not about their. How do you feel is the question. Okay, how do you feel? What do you think about the thing? When you think about yourself doing something that you desire, that you love, or pursuing a new path or whatever, how does that thought of you doing that make you feel? That's the only idea or opinion that you need. It's your own. How does your heart feel? Run it by your heart space. You understand what I'm saying? Run it through your emotions, run it through your spirit, and see what your inner beings say about it. I promise you will get your answer. But also doing this, the more often that you do this, the more accustomed to your own inner voice will you be. And then when you hear your answer, you will no longer have to work so hard to get that answer in the future. The more you cultivate it, the more you cultivate this ability to hear, develop this ability to ask yourself a question and hear the answer. The quicker it'll be, the easier it'll be to receive an answer, okay? Or to know for a fact that that's what it is that you want to do. Peter Burwash stated, one way of finding out a direction, take two pieces of paper, write down on one piece of paper what you're good at, and on the other piece of paper what you'd like to be able to do with your life. And see if you can take these two pages and match things together. Okay, that's a good idea. Maston Kipp stated, find people who have been on that journey, or ask people who are coming back from the road that you want to go down. Ask, how did you do it? Put yourself in an environment where people are doing things that you want to do. Consume massive amounts of inspirational information, whether it's books or DVDs or CDs, because when you do that, okay, that's your thinking. When you wait, because when you do that, you're thinking the thoughts of the greatest people in the world. Okay, there was no comma there at all. Okay, so when you do that, you're thinking amongst the greatest people in the world. There you go. Lane Beachley stated, you have to be clear though. Clarity is what gives you power. Take the time to get clear on what you want, and then you'll start taking a step towards it. But if you don't know what you want, then you'll allow your life to dictate the terms to you. I've never allowed life to dictate terms to me. Meaning, don't allow your circumstances, don't allow your situations, don't allow your money, don't allow, Alina on Clubhouse says, I'd love to be a coach. Nail salon owner, coach to women. Come on here. And guess what? Let me tell you something. You're listening to one that has been all of that. Okay. I went from being a signed professional artist, a recording artist, singer, songwriter, bass player. I started singing at the age of 5, professionally at the age of 5. And I went on to do that until I retired in 2013. Prior to that, prior to my retirement, I always had a desire to create. And in creating, I always had a fascination with the beauty industry. So what I did was I started working in the beauty industry, just a little part-time, a little something to give me a breather away from music. Did that, got my licensing and whatnot, and worked in the beauty industry. Owned salons. I had 2 salons, 3 actually. 2 salons, brick and mortar, and another where I worked out of I made the whole main level of my home into a salon. Okay. Now, did that, had staffs and everything, the whole 9 yards. But while I was doing that, while clients were sitting in my chair, you already know how it goes. The clients get to telling all your business. Y'all know, y'all done sat in your stylist chair, or you done sat in your barber's chair, and you got the run in your mouth telling all your business. Okay. So from there, what I didn't want to do, I overheard some of my staff members, clients telling their business, and the staff members are saying, "Oh, girl, if I was you, girl," you know what I mean? Giving of opinions or giving out of, their own mindset. But I was careful not to do that. I said, okay, here's an opportunity for me to help someone, like really, 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 really help someone and make a huge impact in their life for the better. I can't do that giving them my opinion or giving them something out of my own experience. And girl, if I was you, okay, because maybe their answer that they need is it far exceeds what I have to give them. So what that did was that motivated me to pursue schooling and to go to school and get training and mentors and things like that for coaching. I became a master life and purpose coach. I became a life and purpose, regular life and purpose coach. Then I went to master. I became a professional life coach. I became a spiritual coach. I became a happiness coach. I became a goal setting and successful setting coach. I became an intimacy and relationship coach. I became all the coaches. Okay, got all of the certifications. They all upside my wall right now. Okay. That was my motivation. I didn't want to steer anyone wrong. So I gained the knowledge that I needed in order to give to people nuggets that they need for their life. Our ultimate goal should be to leave people in a better state than we found them. And I was set on doing that. Okay? Which caused me to better myself. In order for me to make an impact on others, I have to make an impact on myself first. So in me learning these things and putting myself through this coaching platform, I learned better. I became better. I developed better. I cultivated better in me. I unlocked gifts and abilities inside of me, right? Which made me an awesome coach, an amazing guide, mentor, teacher, spiritual godmother. From there, I said, okay. Alina said, my goal is to leave them in a better place too. Absolutely. And you absolutely can. From there, I said, now I've done this and I do this well, but how can I do this better? Because I pride myself on always remaining a student. Okay. Always remaining a student. There's always a better way. It's always something you can evolve to. So I said, how can I do this better? Gain more knowledge, because the only thing that I can give is out of the pool of my own understanding. Hello, somebody. It's not until you stretch yourself and gain more understanding can you exude and emit a greater response. Right now, at that point, I can only give what I only had, what I had. I can't give more. I can't give out of what I don't have. So that made me go back to school and pursue my doctorate, right, in therapy. So I became a cognitive behavioral therapist, right? So I'm surpassing coaching. Now I'm not just motivating your life. Now I'm motivating your health. I'm motivating your wellness. Okay. All right. So started all of that. And now I'm still in school. I'm actually in school for another doctorate at Purdue, and I'm taking additional courses at Cornell as we speak. because I know that what I bring to this world, I need to bring it at the best of my own abilities. And I can't give better unless I become better. Correct? So those things, Alina, you are all the way capable of doing every single thing that you stated you want to do. The fact that you have a dream and see yourself doing those things says that you are capable of doing those very things. If you were not capable, you wouldn't have the dream about being able to do it in the first place. Trust me. Okay? So now that you know what you want, you know what you need to do to get there, the next step is to do it. That's the next step. Okay? Trust me. Everything that you are saying, that you stated, I've already done. All right, I've already done. She says, Alina says, I'm looking for nail salons as we speak. That's what I'm talking about. Get busy, honey. And I need a report. I want a report because I want to share your testimony when everything works out. Get your design. I'm going to tell you what I did. For my first salon, I drew on paper how I wanted my salon to look. This is before I had any dollars in my pocket for any of it, okay? I know that's right. Alina said, I'm not concerned about money. Don't you dare. I furnished my entire salon for $700, guided. I was listening and I moved in the direction of what I heard. My entire salon. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? $700 because I was led. I was guided. I paid attention. I listened. I asked questions and I listened. I asked questions and I listened. I asked questions and I listened. There you go. When I say, oh, trust me, honey, trust me. I have a story. I have many stories. Every single vision that I've ever, I said this at the top of the segment here. Every single vision that I've ever had, no matter how big the adventure was, I promise you, the moment that I saw it done in my head, that's all I needed to know. That's it. That's all I needed to see. Finished. Because you can bet my name is what it is. I brought it every single element to it to pass. And I brought it to pass in the exact vision that I saw it in. And nothing short of it. Because anything less than what I saw would be a detriment to the vision in and of itself. Period. My visions are my visions are huge. They're grand. They're $1 million, $1 billion visions, honey. And so the pockets, I don't care nothing about that pocket, okay? Trust me, I don't care nothing about the pocket. There's a vision, there's I don't want, it's no longer a vision, but there's a project that I saw in 2021 in my head. Okay. It literally got approved March of this year for funding to get it done. Project happening. It's already begun. Fiscal year 24, which began October. It's already begun. We got the blueprints. We got the design ideas and everything that we want, down to the appliances, down to the everything. Trust me. The approval was already done. At the time that I saw it and wrote the vision down, child, I might have had about $1,500 in my account. But I don't care anything about that. I don't care about money. I don't care about time. I don't care about who has it now or whatever the case. Because my second salon that I opened, when I started seeing the vision of my second location, there was somebody already there. It was a clothing store already in that spot. I didn't care. I did not care. Not at all. I wanted that spot. I was told that was my spot. So my designs went to that spot. Sure did. It was someone in there operating a whole business. All right. And sure enough, my second salon was located in that location. I bought the furniture before I even negotiated the price with the property owner. I bought the furniture. Hear me. I bought the furniture before I even negotiated the price with the landlord. Okay? I don't play no games when it comes down to vision. Ain't nobody messing with me when it come down to vision. Okay, I get it done. Please believe. So, Alina, I want to hear your testimony. All right. Okay, here we go. Back to the book. John Paul DeJoria, he stated, if you are dreaming about something and nothing's happening, write out what you want to achieve and have it in front of you when you wake up in the morning, one way or another. If you're focused on it, the mind leads you in that direction. Here you go, Alina. Here's your blueprint. Here's your step by step right here. One way or another, if you're focused on it, the mind leads you in that direction. Whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it will achieve. The more you have something on your mind, the more it is going to happen. Keep it at the forefront of your mind. Let that be the first thing you see in the morning, last thing that you see at night before you close your eyes and go to sleep. Okay? Pete Carroll stated, it's not rocket science. To me, it's really obvious that it's making a conscious decision about what you want to achieve or what you want to become. It's the vision that sets in motion whatever the powers are in the universe that helps us create what we want. If even if you don't know yet what your dream is, there's something you can do right now that will accelerate your dream materializing. Give your best to whatever you're currently doing. Come on. Whatever you're doing right now, give your best to it. That's gratitude for what you have right now, okay? Even if you know you ultimately want a different job than the one you have, give your full attention to your current job and give your best to it. By doing this, you will actually become bigger than your current job. And in time, doors will open to lead you to the perfect fit of your dream. Here's the thing. Most oftentimes, a lot of the things that we desire for our future don't move and come to us as quickly as we desire them because we're too busy being underappreciative or unappreciative at all, or just not appreciative at all for where we currently are. You can be grateful for having a job while believing for a better job, right? One thing that activates our vision for our future to come to pass quicker is gratitude. That is the key to manifest that thing in your now quickly. But what delays it is being underappreciative for what you currently have right now in this moment. That's what delays it. Because once upon a time, that job that you have right now was once something that you prayed for before, right? You get this job and now all of a sudden it's not enough and these people and and you get to complaining and all of that stuff. That only keeps you there longer. Why? Because you here in this space need to understand gratitude. Because although you may not like this position, somebody is looking for a job. You have one. Be grateful. Although you may not like the amount of money that you get, somebody has no money and are sleeping under a bridge. Be grateful. You know what I mean? That's how you do that. Be grateful for where you are now while still believing and dreaming about where you want to go. Laird Hamilton stated, a value that my mother instilled in me was, when you do something, no matter what it is, do it to the best of your ability. If you're a street sweeper, sweep the best you can. John Paul DeJoria, he stated, success to me is not how much money you have, it's how well you do what it is you do. Whether you're a janitor or whether you're a business person or whether you're an aviator, it's what you do and how well you do it that dictates how successful you are. So true. This next section, big dreams and little dreams. Anastasia Sayor stated, there's nothing wrong with small dreams. Big dreams are for people who are consciously willing to risk everything they have in life. There are small dreams, there are big dreams, and there are crazy dreams. It takes a certain personality to go crazy. I'm that crazy one for sure. Michael Acton Smith stated, most people don't have big dreams in life. They don't have the confidence. They think all of the exciting stuff is done by other people. But having big dreams is important, and it does make life exciting. If you don't have big dreams can't come true. So true. Anastasia states, people need to understand how much they want to give to get. Okay? Everything in life is like a bank account. Whatever you put in, you will get out. Don't put little and expect to get big. It is not going to happen. That is so true. Someone might start out with a really big dream, while someone else might start out with a small dream that becomes far bigger than they could have imagined. Life seems to call us to a big to a big that wait to dream of oh wait. Life seems to call. I'm running over words. I'm too excited right now. Life seems to call us to a dream that is a size we can handle at the time. Exactly. GM Rail states, little dreams, like pieces in a puzzle, will open out the larger dream. Initially, to even dream is difficult, but it's important to know that Mahatma Gandhi never started off with any big dream. He just kept pushing the limits of what he wanted to happen, and bingo, the biggest thing happened. When you find your dream and make it come true, all the other smaller dreams you have for your life come true too. One of my dreams in my 20s was to live in a different country. I wanted to adventure and challenge of I wanted the adventure and challenge of living in a country that was unfamiliar to me and experiencing the excitement of a different culture from the one I knew. When my dream of The Secret came true, my work required me to move from Australia to the United States. And so a dream I had put aside came true at the same time as my big dream. Dreams are attached to each other, and once one comes, all the rest will follow. Whether you found your dream or you have no dream or no idea what your dream is, there is one extremely simple piece of advice that, if followed, will positively lead you to your dream. Okay. The next section, follow your bliss. Follow your bliss. Joseph Campbell was one of the world's most well respected mythologists, and through his insightful teachings, he gave us a simple yet profound message for our life. Follow your bliss. These three words are the compass of your life. They tell you what direction to point toward in every moment. Bliss is how you feel when you do something you absolutely love to do, and it is a thread that's connected to your dreams. So when you follow your bliss, you also find your dreams and fulfill your reason for being here. Nick Woodman knew he wanted to be an entrepreneur, but he didn't have a clue in what area of business. While he was following his bliss, surfing with his friends on a trip to Australia and Indonesia, Nick kept thinking how great it would be to have a camera that could capture the action of him and his friends surfing. That one little thought was the seed of an idea that became the GoPro camera, which made Nick Woodman one of the world's youngest billionaire entrepreneurs. And the GoPro camera is amazing, y'all, if you haven't seen it before. Bliss leads to bliss. That is the next section. Bliss leads to bliss. There's an irresistible and powerful quality that radiates from you when you're in bliss and doing what you love. And that powerful quality draws more bliss to you. Even though you might not be able to see your dreams yet, when you're in bliss, you are on the very path that will lead you to it. Lane Beachley stated, make the choice to do something that makes you feel good on a daily basis. How many people do that? How many people identify what makes them feel good and then commit that time to themselves on a daily basis? I do. I do now. I didn't before, but I absolutely do now. You are following your bliss when you make a decision to do something that makes you feel really good every day. It could be as simple as sitting in a park or a garden and relaxing with your feet up, or buying a cup of your favorite coffee and instead of drinking it on the run, sitting down, taking a breath, and just watching the world pass. No matter how insignificant or small it might seem, each day make sure to do something that is your idea of bliss. Before you know it, you will be inspired with other blissful things you can do. And from just doing that one thing, you will soon have a hold of a thread that's going to take you to your dreams and to a far better life. I have it every day. Every day I go four times a day for an hour each time in my backyard. I work from my home. home office. And I'm on a quarter acre of land. And so my backyard is large, and so is my front yard. But my backyard is something about that backyard that is very tranquil. It's very relaxing. Plus, I have dogs, so it allows them to run around and be free and chase each other and all of that stuff, have a good time. But it also allows me to sit back there in the nature and just listen to nature just do its thing. Listen to the birds and listen to the squirrels and listen to the wind blow, the leaves falling right now. See the different shades of the colors of the leaves and whatnot. Although they are dying, there's beauty in their dying. Isn't that something? There's beauty in the death of, you know, of the season, the death of the trees, the death of the not the trees, but the death of the leaves. And I get to sit back there and I give myself that permission to sit and watch this every day. To sit and if the rain is, if it's drizzling, I sit there, not in the rain, but on the side or whatever, and I'm watching it and I'm smelling the rain and I'm looking at the soil. And I got my feet. Sometimes I put my bare feet in the soil because there's such vitamins that shoots in your body from the bottom of your feet when you connect with nature. That is my small bliss. And I have my tea. That is my bliss. Okay. That is my bliss. Peter Foyle states, it's a cliche, but I believe it's really important to live your life to the absolute fullest. Michael Acton Smith stated, along with our family and our relationships, the job we do is one of the most important parts of our life. It's certainly somewhere you spend most of your waking hours. So it should be something enjoyable. It should be something that you are passionate about and that you care about. Absolutely. John Paul DeJoria stated, I love what I do or I wouldn't be doing it. Correct. That is the mantra of my life. Okay. I love what I do or I wouldn't be doing it. You better believe that. I love me too much, man. I love me fiercely and savagely. I don't play about me. And if I am not, if I'm not comfortable, if I don't like something or my energy, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? If something makes me uneasy. Many years ago, I decided to honor myself. All right. I decided to honor myself. If I don't want to go and there's something about that situation that makes me uneasy, I do not put myself in that situation. We have inner alarms for a reason. I listen to mine. You better believe that. Okay. So if it's either if I'm doing something, it's because I love to do it. Otherwise, I'm not wasting my good energy, lifetime, nothing on doing something that I don't want to be doing. And I advise you not to do it either. GM Rail stated, money and security are very important to everyone. Personal satisfaction and passion for a particular thing you do is more important. That is why it is important to a dream. If you have a full-time job, you probably spend about 250 days of your year at work. 250 days is over 2/3 of the year. So if you're not doing what sets your heart on fire and fills you with passion and excitement, you are wasting a lot of precious days of your life. Steve Jobs, he stated, your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle. If you're at home raising children, make sure this precious time of your life includes something that you love and do it as often as you can. When I was at home raising my children, I needed a creative outlet. And so I threw myself into cooking. I took cooking courses, bought books, and practiced and cooked until I had perfected every cooking method I could find. Cooking became my bliss. When I returned to my job in television, the first television show I developed was a cooking show. And because of what I had learned, the show became very successful. With this success, my career in television production flourished. John Paul stated, when you are passionate and you like what you're doing, when it is what you want to do, not what you have to do, you always do it better because you're doing it with love. For some reason, many of us have separated our bliss from our work, and we don't love what we do every day. But life doesn't have to be like that. The fact that there are people who are blissful and living their dream for their work tells you that it's possible for you too. You don't need to know what your dream job is because your bliss is connected to it. So all you have to do is follow your bliss and it will lead you to it. GM Raul stated, I don't work because I have to. I work because I enjoy the work. To me, work is worship. Because it is with a sense of purpose and gives happiness and contentment, not just to me, but to those around me. Yes, sir. Liz Murray stated, I don't think I've ever said I'm going to work. I know, I don't think I've ever said I'm going to work. I know that's right. What kind of job can you imagine yourself doing where you wouldn't ever say, I'm going to work? Your work should embrace your passion or special talent and be something you would do rather you were paid or not. Liz Murray stated, I have to have fun in what I do. If I don't have some kind of fun, if it doesn't blow my hair back, if it doesn't feel like magic, I just can't stick with that. I must pursue things that make me feel like it's Christmas morning when I was a kid and I couldn't wait to get out of bed. If I started dreading something or wanting it to end, it's a symptom that something needs to change. That is so true. Michael Acton Smith stated, at Mind Candy, which is his company, we love working with people who don't take themselves too seriously, who can have fun as they work. None of this is life or death, even though some people would like to think of it as that. I think you enjoy life and you have a lighter spirit when you have fun at work. Yeah. Sir Richard Branson stated, I didn't set out to be rich. The fun and the challenge in life were what I wanted and still do. But I have found that if I have fun, the money will come. If I have fun, the money will come. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, I know. Addie on Clubhouse says work is worship. I know. Wow, it's so deep. Absolutely. Worship. Come on. Next section, be true to yourself. When your work is your bliss, you will be happy. Doing a job you think you should do instead of doing what you love is leading a false life. So many precious people are living a life that has been put upon them by well-meaning parents, teachers, or society, or even a friend or a partner, and they're miserable. We're seeing the evidence of the misery in people through the alarming increase of mental health problems in the world. Shut out what everyone else thinks. Have the courage to follow your own bliss, and you will be immensely happy. So true. John Paul stated there's a lot of things one wants to do that maybe isn't commonplace or that everyone else agrees with. But if it makes you happy, by gosh, go after it. It's so rewarding. Being true to yourself. Yes, being true to yourself is rewarding. Being true to yourself is rewarding. Let me tell you something. I'm going to paint this picture for you. Right now, if you look at your hands, if you look at your fingertips, those prints on your fingertips belong to you and you alone. There are no duplicates of your fingerprints on the face of this earth. There are 7, 8 billion, 9 billion people on this planet, and not one other person other than you have your fingerprints, right? That alone is a moment to just take in, breathe in, right? Now, in addition to you being special, very unique, and one of one, okay, no the mold was broken when you were born. There's no more copies. That means that just like your fingerprints are intricate and detailed and custom-made for you, custom made for you, so are your gifts, so are your abilities, so is your energy and your input in this life. So if you don't fulfill and honor yourself, be true to yourself, then the entire existence of this planet is robbed of all the things that you could have done and influenced us by. Your intricacies, your personality, your heart, your smile, your style of dress, your dance, your song, your book. We wouldn't have it. The world wouldn't have your infusion when you are literally the only one that can give it to us. So what are we going to do without you? Not without you who wants to be like your cousin, not you who wants to be like your mama, not you who wants to follow after your dad. No, you. That's why it's imperative for you to find out who you are. Because when you find out who you are, you can then learn to be true to yourself, loyal to yourself, honorable to yourself. And when you do that, honoring others will be easy because you're accustomed to honoring. But you first got to honor self. We teach people how to love us by how we love ourselves. We teach people how to respect us by how we respect ourselves. We teach people how to honor us by how we honor ourselves. Yep. Okay. It is so rewarding being true to yourself. Michael Acton Smith stated, I left university and got a sensible job in a bank. And I realized quite quickly that it just wasn't for me. It didn't speak to my soul. And I realized I was pretty much unemployable. Okay. Pretty much unemployable. GM Ryle stated, when we pursue a dream, there will be several pulls from different directions, from stakeholders, family, friends, and society. In my case, there were many such situations. For example, when my brothers with whom I was in partnership for our family business had different aspirations, I exited the partnership to pursue my own dreams. DM Ryle had the courage to follow his own dreams, and look what he's done with his life. He has built airports, highways, and hospitals, and developed cities in India. It has improved his country and the lives of hundreds of millions of people because he made a decision to follow his own bliss. It often takes courage to do the thing you love and go against the majority. Resist the temptation to try and please everyone and be true to yourself. It's not your job to please everybody else anyway. It's their job to please themselves and find their own happiness. This is your life, and you must follow your own heart. There's something special about you, a talent or skill that is unique to you, and you have a responsibility to your life to bring it out. Warren Buffett stated, take a job that you love. I think you're out of your mind if you keep taking jobs that you don't like because you think it will look good on your resume. Isn't that a little like saving up sex for your old age? I know that's right. Wait a minute. I know that's right. He said, isn't that like saving up sex for old age? Right. Why would you do such a thing? What the world? Child. Come on here. That's the realest statement I've heard. That is the realest statement I have heard, honey, for sure. Miss Pam on Facebook says, amen. Okay. Amen, honey. Okay. Anastasia stated, look into your life. If you are happy where you are, good for you. If you are not happy, you should start analyzing. Okay, what makes me happy? I'm in a job and I'm unhappy. Well, change the job. Simple as that. If you've decided that you're going to make a change, but you don't know how, the first and biggest step you can take is to start to follow your bliss. Anastasia stated, if you are an accountant and you are totally unhappy, well, maybe you like to cook. Go and become a chef. Don't drop your job immediately because you need to pay your bills, but try to set a plan. Okay, I'm going to do this part-time. You have a plan. Every penny that I made, I wanted to make sure I would use to follow my dream. If you do not have that support from money, the stress that comes from not being able to pay your bills will shatter your dreams, and it'll make you go back to settling for something that you don't want to do. Okay. Anastasia had a family to support, and so she spent 2 years planning her business before she took the leap. Now she has a global company and she's living the life of her dreams. If Anastasia hadn't worked on a plan and followed her bliss, she would still be working 14-hour days in someone else's salon. Come on. There are so many things you can start doing now to follow your bliss. Take a free course on what you would love to do. Get books and magazines and read up on the people who are doing what you want to do. Find out what kind of job you could get to put you into that field. Use the internet, social media, write blogs, or do research. You have the world at your fingertips and more opportunities than ever to connect and explore. Put as much attention as you can into what you would love to do. Yeah, now it's much easier for us to connect and really, really, really do that research and do what we need to do for our desires than it was back in the day. Back in the day, you had to understand the card catalog and Dewey Decimal System. And if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say card catalog and Dewey Decimal System, you might not be old enough. Okay. Just saying. Okay. And I might have just dated myself. All right. Don't worry about all that. All right. But just know that times have changed and information and gathering information is much easier now than it has ever been. It's literally, if you have a phone in your hand, it's literally at your fingertips, all information. And now we're in the world of AI. We have no excuses. Okay. Goodness gracious. Laird Hamilton stated, how do you transition from what you're doing into a place where you're doing what you love? Subsidize doing what you love to do with doing something else in order to give you enough support to do the thing you love. All of a sudden, you will be doing the thing that you love as the thing that provides for you. And that transition will occur much quicker than you think. Aston Kip stated, if you have other responsibilities, you can slowly start to build up a side business, and eventually you just take the leap. That's correct. I worked as a cashier years ago. Oh my God, this was so many years ago. But I worked as a cashier at Walmart. Okay, when I was transitioning from Illinois, where I'm from. I'm from Chicago, so I was leaving. I left Illinois and I moved to South Carolina. But in Illinois, I was somebody, quote unquote. I'm always somebody. Illinois, I had a name and a reputation, and I had gigs, opportunities, this and the third. But in South Carolina, didn't nobody know me down there? Okay, so I had to build from ground up. I had to start from ground zero, right? Which was fine. It's no problem. Because again, knowing me, everywhere I go, I know what's in me, so I know what I'm capable of. Okay, and I'm just looking for opportunities to prove that. Okay, so I had to start as a cashier at Walmart, and I did. I said going in the door. I'm gonna do this until it pays, and I'm gonna do this job um full time, but on my off days, I'm going to work my desire part time. I said the moment that my part time pay equals or exceeds my full time pay, I'm walking away from the full time job. I was at that job for less than 2 years, but I'm gonna tell you something. I worked that job knowing that there was going to be an exit plan, right? I worked that job knowing that, but it still didn't stop me from giving my all to the job, right? In less than a year, I went from cashier to being customer service manager. Okay. From there, I went from customer service manager to being front end manager. All right. So I was still doing what I needed to do to excel and elevate in that position, in that job. But I still knew, I never lost the thought that there is an exit plan that's going to be executed. The moment my pay in my part-time position or the part-time craft equaled or exceeded my full-time job. Okay, I had the plan. You got to have the plan. And the moment it happened, I threw that do them those deuces up so fast. Let me up out of here. Get me up out of here. Y'all know you've been to Walmart before, so I need I tell you, okay? Need I say anything else about why I ran for the hills? Okay, I enjoyed the job. I did. I enjoyed. I enjoy people. I always work in areas where I'm dealing with people. Okay, so it was fun, but it was time to go for me to pursue, beauty, which was the very thing that I desired to do. And don't you know? Within, I would say within another maybe year or so, probably about a year, I became one of the top 3 Black stylists in the entire state of South Carolina. Okay, there you go. There you go. So yeah, do what you have to do until you can do what you desire to do, right? But the moment that opportunity presents itself, then take it and go forth. Joseph Campbell stated, "Follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors for you where there were only walls." Come on here. Follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors for you where there were only walls. Okay? You can begin right now to follow your bliss because somewhere in your life, there is something you've always wanted to do that you haven't done yet. Have you had an urge to learn ballroom dancing or rap, surfing or white water rafting? Have you had an urge to take an acting class, a painting or gardening class, or to learn how to style clothes or the interior of houses? Or is there a musical instrument that you've had the urge to learn because when you hear it played, you immediately go into a state of bliss? Do you feel drawn to a particular country? And when you hear the language being spoken, something inside you stirs? Was there something you loved doing as a child, but as you grew into adulthood, you put it aside because you had to make a living? What is it that you always wanted to do? Most people never get around to acting on those urges, or they put them aside because they think they're insignificant and have no relation to the bigger things they want in their life. But that urge you feel to do something in particular is the universal calling to you, the universe calling to you to follow your bliss. And that particular thing is definitely connected to the path of your dreams. You can't see the connection from your perspective on earth, but the universe can clearly see it's the path that will lead you to your dreams. The next section, the thing that moves you. What are you drawn to? What moves you? What have you always had the desire to do? Follow that urge. Follow your bliss. Because while you might not consider it relevant to your dream, it is in fact the very thread that will lead you there, as it did for my daughter. From the moment she learned to read, my daughter said that she was going to be an author when she grew up. Aside from writing, she loved 2 things more than anything: being in nature and horse riding. She maintained her love of all 3 from childhood into adulthood. But when she moved to America, she had to leave her horses behind. With her relocation, her lifelong dream of becoming an author sat quietly in the background, while another big dream took over her: to meet her perfect partner and have a family. She made a list of everything she wanted in her perfect partner. But for some months, he was nowhere to be seen. Then she made a decision to just follow her bliss. So she started horse riding lessons. She started to ride again, and she bought a little house surrounded by nature. Her little house needed a lot of work, but she was blissfully happy in it because she was surrounded by nature. Here's what happened when my daughter followed her bliss. She was given a new horse to ride in her lesson. And the moment she got on that horse, they were at one with each other. She had found the horse of her dreams, and she was given the opportunity to buy the horse in gradual payments she could easily manage. She came up with an idea for a children's book, and she finished writing her first book. She was blissfully happy. She had her dream horse, she was living in nature, and she finally written a book. And right there and then, amid her bliss, my daughter met her perfect partner. 2 months after the dream of her perfect partner came true. Her lifelong dream of becoming an author also came true. A major publisher accepted her book for publication. On top of that, things were suddenly looking promising for her little house in need of a lot of work. Her perfect partner just happens to be the son of a builder. You can have it all, no matter how unrelated you think your bliss might be to a big dreamer. Follow your bliss and follow it with all of your heart. Although you can't see the whole way ahead, your bliss is the thread that will lead you to all of your dreams. Ooh, that's good. And that concludes today's portion of our reading. The next gathering that we'll have is on Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that will be part two, The Hero. Part two, The Hero. Okay. All righty, you all. This is awesome. Oh my goodness, this is so good. All righty, you all. Listen, if you did not, if you're listening on the replay, thank you so very much for being here. If you need to get the book, because we just started it today, if you need to get the book, you want your copy, then inbox me, back channel me, email me, whatever you got to do. Send me a message in a bottle, whatever you got to do. Okay. And I can get that copy over to you. It'll be via your Google Drive. It's only a $5 copy for your ebook. Okay, much less than what you would pay if you got the book directly. Okay, and plus this being in PDF form, it absolutely gives you an access to pull up this book from wherever you have a mobile device. Okay, so you can take it with you. You can read it on your lunch breaks, whatever you need to do. Okay, so that is it for today, you all. We'll be back here in 2 days on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at Divine Femininity United. I am your girl. I am Dr. Bianca Miss B. Lee, and we will see you all next time. I love you. I mean it. There's absolutely positively nothing, and I mean nothing, that you can do about it. We'll see you back here on Tuesday. Peace.